Train your mind like a warrior. Nothing else matters. There will come a moment in your life when the noise outside no longer matters. When the opinions, the excuses, the delays, they all collapse under the weight of a single truth. You either master your mind, or you will be mastered by everything else. That moment is not marked by a date or a celebration. It is marked by a decision. A cold, unwavering decision to become someone no longer distracted, no longer weak, no longer lost in the crowd of half-efforts and half-beliefs. Because here is the reality. The world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care how tired you are, how unfair it's been, or how many chances you think you deserved. The world moves on with or without you. And the only ones who rise, the only ones who break through the noise, are the ones who train their minds to be stronger than their circumstances. You can build a beautiful body, accumulate wealth, study every strategy, but if your mind is undisciplined, none of it will hold. Because it is the mind that stands guard when the world collapses. It is the mind that must choose whether to push through discomfort or fall into comfort's trap. It is the mind that decides whether you rise or you rot. Look back at history's greatest builders, men like Carnegie, who turned a penniless childhood into a steel empire, like Thomas Edison, who failed over 10,000 times to invent the light bulb and still believed success was inevitable. These men were not just intelligent. They were warriors of the mind. They sharpened their focus like blades. They ignored the noise. They became obsessed not with motivation, but with mastery. And that's where most people fail. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel inspired. But warriors, mental warriors, don't wait. They show up when it's raining, when it's dull, when it's painful, when there is no applause. They train in silence. They choose discipline over dopamine. And every time they do, their mind becomes less like a mirror of the world, and more like the sword that shapes it. But let's get one thing clear. Training your mind is not about pretending to be invincible. It's not about suppressing emotion or becoming numb to pain. No, it's about mastering response. It's about sitting with the discomfort long enough to learn its name. It's about looking at fear and refusing to blink. The greatest strength is not found in force, it's found in stillness under pressure. In your ability to hold the line when everyone else breaks formation. So how do you train your mind like a warrior? You begin where it's hardest, your thoughts. You must interrogate them. Every doubt, every limiting belief, every whisper that tells you you're not enough. You must learn to grab it by the throat and demand to know who sent it. Because most of your thoughts aren't yours. They are echoes from parents, teachers, media, failures. They are ghosts. And unless you challenge them, they will haunt every room you walk into, long before you ever arrive. The mind is a battlefield, and the enemy is never out there. The enemy is the voice inside that says, it's too late. You're not special. What if you fail? That voice does not deserve kindness. It deserves resistance. Daily, relentless resistance. And the only way to silence it is with action. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. Wake up when you said you would. Not because it's fun, but because you promised yourself. And when you keep promises to yourself, you build trust. And trust becomes belief. And belief becomes momentum. This is how warriors rise. Not in sudden moments of glory, but in thousands of unseen choices stacked like bricks. Building a fortress no excuse can penetrate. You want confidence? Earn it. In the dark, in the silence, when no one's watching and quitting is easy. You want clarity? Shut out the noise. Stop scrolling. Stop comparing. Start listening to your breath, to your thoughts, to the quiet voice beneath the chaos that already knows what you must do. The mind can be a garden or a graveyard. If you plant nothing but fear, you will harvest paralysis. But if you plant intention, belief, discipline, and repetition, your life will become a reflection of that internal architecture. Understand this. Most people are not held back by their circumstances. They're held back by their relationship to discomfort. They treat adversity like an enemy instead of an invitation. But the warrior welcomes adversity. He says, "Thank you. You are the fire that will temper my steel." Do you think David faced Goliath because he felt confident? No, he acted in faith. Do you think Lincoln endured a lifetime of defeat, death, and depression because it was easy? No, he trained himself to stand taller in the darkness. Do you think Oprah, Born into poverty and abuse. Became who she is because the odds were in her favor. No, she turned wounds into wisdom. These people bled, they broke, but they chose not to be ruled by reaction. They trained their minds like warriors. And that choice, not talent, not luck, not timing, that choice made all the difference. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a flawless plan. You need only one thing: resolve. The resolve to keep going when the dopamine wears off, when the motivation fades, when no one claps, and no one believes, and everything in you wants to shrink. That's the test, and most never pass it, not because they weren't capable, but because they never trained for it. And make no mistake, training is not comfortable. It is inconvenient, it is boring, it is repetitive, but so is greatness, so is mastery, so is the path of the few who get to live lives others only dream about. You say you want to change your life? Good. Start by changing your habits. You say you want more success? Good. Start by mastering focus. You say you want freedom? Then free yourself from the addiction to comfort. Because in the end, the mind becomes what it practices. If you practice excuses, your life will be a museum of missed potential. But if you practice strength, vision, and clarity, your life becomes a monument to what's possible. So rise. Not tomorrow. Not when it's convenient. Rise now. Train your mind like a warrior. Because in this world, nothing else matters. The mind you carry today is not the one you were born with. It is a construction, brick by brick, thought by thought, belief by belief. And here's the truth no one tells you. If it was built, it can be rebuilt. If it was shaped by doubt, it can be reforged in discipline. If it was shaped by fear, it can be carved into courage. But you must be the one to do it. No one will come to fix your mind. No mentor, no course, no book, no speech will do it for you. Because mental strength cannot be downloaded. It must be earned. Every time you delay what you know needs doing, you tell your mind that your comfort matters more than your calling. Every time you overthink instead of act, you teach your mind that fear wins. But every time you step forward, especially when it's hard, you rewire your identity. Not with slogans, with evidence. Think of it like this: your mind is your general, and your habits are your army. If the general is weak, the army scatters. If the general hesitates, the troops stall. But if the general is decisive, if the general moves with clarity and conviction, the army obeys, the body follows, the behavior changes, the life shifts. This is why clarity is more powerful than motivation. When you know why you must act, you stop needing someone to push you. You become the push. But let's go deeper. Let's talk about vision. Because warriors don't train aimlessly. They train with a picture in their mind, one so clear, so emotionally real, that the world around them bends to it. Edison saw the light bulb in his mind before it ever glowed in his lab. Walt Disney saw a kingdom of imagination before a single brick was laid in Orlando. Martin Luther King stood before millions not with a blueprint, but with a dream. Your vision is the command center of your life. Without it, you drift, you react, you survive. But with it, you attack, you adapt, you build. When you wake up each day with your vision etched into your mind, distraction loses its appeal. Petty arguments don't matter. Rejection doesn't derail you, because your eyes are locked on something bigger than comfort. But a vision without action is delusion. So many dream, so few do, so many declare, so few deliver. And the gap between the two is not talent, it's tenacity. There will be mornings when you don't feel like training. Do it anyway. There will be people who doubt your dream. Build it anyway. There will be failures that tempt you to walk away. Stay the course anyway. Why? Because warriors don't move based on feeling. They move based on mission. Your mission is sacred. You are not here to be liked. You are not here to impress. You are not here to scroll your way through a forgettable life. You are here to take this one chance, this one short, brutal, beautiful chance, and do something with it. Discipline is love in its highest form. It is not punishment. It is devotion to what you say you want. And if you're not willing to suffer for your dream, you don't deserve it. If you're not willing to give up convenience for greatness, you'll never taste it. The fruits of success are not found in public. They grow in the soil of sacrifice. Watered by mornings most people sleep through. And while we're here, let's make something very clear. You don't rise by copying others. You rise by knowing yourself so deeply, so completely, that no external voice can drown out your internal compass. This is self-mastery, and it's rare, because most people spend their entire lives avoiding themselves. They chase trends, approval, applause, anything to distract from the silence within. But warriors enter the silence. They sit with it, they sharpen themselves with it. Because the deeper you go into your own mind, the less the world can shake you. When you know your worth, you stop negotiating it. When you know your purpose, you stop explaining it. And when you know your path, you stop comparing it. That's the level you must reach. When nothing outside of you holds more weight than what's burning inside you. You think the storm is out there? It's not. The real storm is internal. And if you can face that, your insecurities, your laziness, your anger, your need to please, if you can face that, no setback will stop you. Because you're not just building goals. You're building armor. And understand this. People will doubt you. Not because you're wrong, but because your clarity threatens their comfort. Your self-discipline confronts their excuses. Your refusal to play small makes them feel exposed. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them underestimate. You're not here to be understood. You're here to rise. Greatness is lonely. The hours are long. The silence is heavy. But this is the price. This is the cost of carving yourself into someone who doesn't fold under pressure. Someone who doesn't quit on bad days. Someone who leads not by shouting, but by showing. The world does not need more people chasing success for validation. It needs warriors who embody success, because they've earned every ounce of it. That's you. You are not here for mediocrity. You are not here to fit in. You are not here to blend into the background of your own life. You are here to lead, to build, to shine, not for applause, but because it's who you are. And if you don't feel that yet, then train. Train until your actions start reflecting the giant inside you. Train until your doubt bows to your discipline. Train until your past no longer controls your future. Because you are not the mistakes you made. You are not the fear you inherited. You are not the limits society put on your shoulders. You are something far more dangerous than that. You are a mind on fire with purpose. You are a soul that refuses to stay small. You are a warrior, and the battlefield is life. There will always be reasons to stop, reasons to wait, reasons to doubt, but warriors are not led by reasons. They are led by results. They are not seduced by comfort, they are sharpened by conflict. Because here's a truth they never taught you in school. Life is not fair. Not everyone starts at the same line. Not everyone is born into safety or wealth or encouragement. But the beauty and the brutality of life is this: you can still win. You can start late and still finish ahead. You can fall, fail, and fumble your way through the beginning and still be remembered as one of the greats. But only if you stop wishing and start forging. Only if you stop waiting for the world to hand you peace and start building a mind that can survive a war. Think of Nelson Mandela, locked in prison for 27 years. Humiliated, broken, starved of freedom, but he trained his mind in that cell. He visualized the future. He held onto his dignity when the world tried to erase it. And when he walked free, he did not crumble. He led, because while they tried to cage his body, they never owned his mind. That is power, and you have it too. But only if you choose to activate it. Only if you take your focus off distractions and place it squarely on domination, not of others, but of self. Dominate your morning. Dominate your focus. Dominate your reactions. Dominate your thoughts. Because the world is not changed by men who react. It's changed by men who respond. And response is born from control. Not emotional suppression, but emotional command. You must become the architect of your inner world. Because the outer world will never stop testing you. People will misunderstand you. Opportunities will slip through your fingers. Critics will mock your pace. But none of it matters if you have trained your mind to remain anchored. Picture a tree in the middle of a storm. The winds rip through, bending its branches, shaking its leaves, but it does not fall. Why? Because its roots run deep. Your mind must be the same. Unmoved by noise, unshaken by winds, deep, anchored, steady. So how do you grow roots like that? Through repetition, through rituals, through daily self-respect. You don't rise once in a while and expect to evolve. You rise every time it's hard. You get up every time it's inconvenient. You show up especially when no one else does. The gym at 5 a.m. The journal when your thoughts are chaos. The book when your phone screams for attention. These are not tiny choices. These are battlefield moves. Because in every moment, you are either training the mind to obey you, or letting it train you to obey the world. And most people, without even knowing, have surrendered. They've outsourced their focus to apps, their opinions to strangers, their potential to mediocrity. But not you, not anymore. If you want to stand where few have stood, you must endure what most refuse to face. You must say no when it's tempting to say yes. You must go deep when others stay surface level. You must grind in silence while others chase applause. And when you stumble, and you will stumble, you must remember, warriors do not fear falling. They only fear not getting back up. Fall 7, rise 8. Every failure is not a death sentence, it's a feedback loop. The goal is not to avoid the fall. The goal is to fall forward, to rise with more insight, more fire, more focus, and to trust that every scar is carving the shape of your future greatness. There is no such thing as wasted pain when you train your mind to extract the lesson from it. This is how you build resilience. Resilience is not stubbornness. It is flexibility. It is the ability to bend without breaking. It is the power to adapt without abandoning who you are. Life will never give you the exact battlefield you trained for. But if you've mastered your mind, it doesn't need to. The resilient don't need perfect conditions. They create outcomes in imperfect circumstances. This is why the greats are often misunderstood. Because they're not waiting for clarity, they're creating it. They're not seeking perfect conditions, they're building under pressure. Think of Henry Ford. Everyone thought he was crazy. Cars for the masses? Machines on roads? They laughed. But he trained his mind to hold the vision. He didn't bend to the doubt. He didn't lower the standard. He multiplied the pressure and produced a system that revolutionized industry. You are capable of that kind of resolve. But it won't come easy. It's not meant to. Ease is the enemy of elevation. Growth demands grit. Transformation demands friction. Just like muscle is built by tearing and repairing, your mind is built by enduring and refining. And this is why gratitude matters more than most realize. Because gratitude is not about being soft. It is about staying strong through perspective. When the warrior is tired, he looks around and says, still breathing, still standing, still in the fight. Gratitude isn't weakness, it's fuel. It reminds you that even when nothing is perfect, everything is progress. You thank the pain, because it forged your patience. You thank the doubt, because it forced your belief to deepen. You thank the chaos, because it made your vision matter more. This is warrior thinking. You do not curse the fire, you use it. And day by day, the world begins to notice. They wonder how you move with such calm. Why you don't break like they do. Why their insults don't shake you. Why your silence commands more respect than their noise. It's because you're no longer playing the same game. You're not chasing approval. You're chasing mastery. You're not fighting to be seen. You're fighting to become something that cannot be ignored. And you're not hoping for strength. You are becoming it. This is how you build a life that can't be taken from you. Not with hype. Not with hustle porn. But with a mind that has been tested, trained, and transformed. There's a line that every warrior must cross. A moment when you stop waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect support, the perfect mindset, and you move anyway. A moment when you stop rehearsing your potential and start becoming it. That moment is now. Because time is not on your side. The clock is not your friend. Every day you hesitate, you teach your mind that hesitation is acceptable. Every time you say, tomorrow, you bury your greatness 1 inch deeper beneath excuses. The future is not promised. But the fight, the fire, the opportunity to rise, that's here, that's yours. So let me say this clearly, you don't need more time. You need more truth. The truth is you're capable of more than you've been showing. You've got power stored in you that has never been activated, simply because you keep negotiating with your lower self. That part of you that wants comfort. That part of you that's addicted to validation. That part of you that plays small because it's afraid of standing out and failing in public. But you weren't built for small. You weren't built to live and die in the same mental zip code. You were built to stretch, to risk, to build, to break, to rebuild stronger. To expand so far past the image of who you thought you were that even your former self wouldn't recognize you. And no one can give that to you. No one can teach you who you are. You have to go into the furnace to find out. It's there, in the repetition, in the rejection, in the resistance, that your real self is forged. Not the surface version, not the polite, filtered, edited version, but the one who doesn't flinch, the one who doesn't fold, the one who remembers who the hell they are. Because when you train your mind like a warrior, you stop needing to convince the world. You stop performing. You stop explaining. You let your energy speak. You let your work speak. You let your presence speak. You walk into rooms and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. You stop chasing motivation and build momentum through motion. You stop asking, how long will it take? And start saying, however long it takes. That's the difference. Because most people are tourists in the land of discipline. They visit when it's convenient. But warriors? Warriors live there. They build homes in hardship. They grow gardens in drought. They find peace inside pressure. They understand something most people never will. That suffering isn't the enemy. Suffering is the signal. It means you're on the edge of a breakthrough. It means the old you is dying. And like any death, it's uncomfortable. But it is only through that discomfort that the new self emerges. Not made of hope, but of hard-earned conviction. And once that self arrives, nothing can touch it, because it is not built on hype. It is built on evidence. The days you got up tired and trained anyway. The nights you cried but didn't quit. The decisions you made when no one was watching. That built a mind no failure could destroy. That kind of power can't be stolen. It can't be faked. It can't be taught in a weekend seminar. It must be lived. And the reward? Freedom. Not the kind they sell you in ads. But real freedom. The kind that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. The kind that comes from trusting yourself so deeply that no storm, no loss, no betrayal can make you doubt who you are. That's the level we're chasing. Not success that's loud and fragile, but success that's quiet and unshakable. And make no mistake, it is not for everyone. Because it will demand everything. It will demand your comfort, your pride, your distractions. It will demand that you let go of who you were in order to become who you could be. But if you're ready, truly ready, you will find something few ever touch. A life on your own terms. A mind that moves mountains. A legacy that doesn't need words. You don't get there by wishing. You get there by waking up every day and stepping into the fire of your own potential. So now I ask you, will you keep waiting? Will you keep letting fear write your story? Or will you take the pen back and write a chapter so bold, so disciplined, so undeniable, that your name echoes far beyond your time? Because in the end, it's not about what they say. It's not about what they give you. It's not even about what you achieve. It's about what you become. And when you train your mind like a warrior, every day, every moment, every breath, what you become is something the world cannot stop. So go now. Sharpen your focus. Discipline your thoughts. Command your emotions. And walk like you've already won. Because once your mind is trained, nothing else matters. And everything becomes possible.